Hello everyone. Today I wanted to talk about women because today it's Happy Women's Day to all of the ladies, fabulous ladies, great ladies, good ladies, women ordained by God, women ordained in secular jobs, women ordained um, in various aspects, even housewife or anything like that. So today I wanted to honor women, and then I wanted to uh, go live. This is my live, and I mean not live, but I wanted to go live, talk about women today, especially because it's a Women's Day, and I wish you all a happy Women's Day. The reason I wanted to do is because Zion Shekinah Foundations. Zion means God's dwelling place. Shekinah means glory of God. And foundations is because my mother, Miss Hemlata Samuel, and my aunt, Miss Manora Sampson, they were the pioneers of having me start these things. They encouraged me to say all these things. So I salute these women in my life. And so that's why I wanted to kind of like go on live. So, and that's the only reason I wanted to, go on live and things like that. So, anyway, I want to read some things from the thing that someone has sent me. It's not my writer, it's someone who has sent this, and I wanted to read this. It's like Esther, I will intercede for God's people before the throne. Like Abigail, I will humble myself to wash the feet of the servants of the Lord. Like Hannah, I will dedicate my children to the Lord. Now, all this pertains to women. Why I'm saying women is because, like these great women in the Bible, we need to also exemplify their characters in our life. So, these are some of the women that I want to read from the Bible. And like Pricilla, I will explain the way of God more perfectly to those who are seeking. Like the Shunamite widow, I will trust God in the day of adversity. Like Lydia, I will be a worshipper of God and open my home to His ministries and ministers. Like Tabitha, I will always do good and help the poor. Like Joanna, I will use my wealth to support the ministry of Jesus. Like Mary, I will say, be it unto me according to thy word. So, it's going to be a short video anyhow, and I only wanted to encourage women and say that we become an integral part of the society. And Adam was alone in the Garden of Eden, and then that's when like God said it's not good for man to be alone, and so He created Eve. Now, when He created Eve, God Himself thought that it was necessary for Adam to have this person called woman. So He names her woman, which means bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh, and also because she has been taken out of Adam. So, women from the beginning of creation were important, not just to man but also to God, and that's why He made her as an equal to Adam but different in duties. So we need to recognize that, and we need to understand that it's very important why a woman is born and what her role is. A woman can come in many forms, as a daughter, as a wife, as a sister, as a mother, as a friend, as a guide, as everything. And the different professions that she has in today's world is as a doctor, lawyer, engineer, teacher, housewife, and many other professions. Now, regardless of the profession of the woman, a woman we have a very important role to play, and that is, I don't remember who the author is. He said, educate a man and you only educate a man. But you educate a woman, you educate a generation. So it's very important for women to be educated and be aware of the surroundings and societies, because in today's world there's a lot of injustices done to women. There's a lot of even though we have a voice. Now again, when we know that we have a voice and we can voice out, women should be powerful and more stable towards giving out their voice, so that they are known in the society, and they're known to give a good cause, a better cause, to make the society good, to make the state good, to make the country good, to make the world good. So Zion Shekinah Foundations was built on these great ladies that were there in my life, my mother, my aunt, my pedama, and mainly these three, especially my mother and my aunt. So it's very important, and the reason is they were very powerful, not because they had like a lot of money, or not because they were like they were strong, but because they had the strength from God, and then they had the ability and wisdom from God, and they had a professional outlook and empowerment, not only to make their lives better, but also to make other people's lives better. So, and they have, just before my mother passed away last year, she blessed me with this, and with her blessing, and of course my aunt was the main person who said that I should, talk about women, teach about women, give messages on YouTube and things like that. So it's that, and it was their encouragement that I'm doing this. So anyway, we need to understand that our role is very, very important, and we need to understand that it is always the right thing to do. Because see, the thing is, when a woman is given a duty to do it with her heart and mind, she'll be able to do it. It won't. It's not, and she will be unbiased, and she won't like keep it aside and then let it rot or procrastinate it. She'll like to do it on her many things, because she has like many things to do at the same time. So women are powerful. They're in the police, they're in the politics, they're like in the governments and non-governmental and everywhere. So coming down to respecting women, there are laws to do it, but unfortunately some countries follow, some don't. And every country in the world has a law which protects women and does empowerment, but unfortunately some countries like India, third world countries, we have good laws too, but unfortunately we don't have good stability or good backup to support women or to fight for women. So and it's not that because the law is weak, it's just that sometimes the empowerment from the other gender, the other sex, which is the male, they can be acting like lunatics, or they can be acting like mad people, or because of the less education that they have, they can be trying to empower and all that. So and then because of jealousy too, they just don't like women to come forward and do things in par with them. So there were very much factors, big factors about this, about why women in India don't grow much as supposed to be the women who grow in other great countries like United States, UK, and all those places. But so this is what I wanted to tell you, that we must be women who are found in the Bible, like Abigail, Jael, and Deborah, Hannah, and of course Queen of Sheba too, because she, being a woman, she was the first queen of that time to come in par with King Solomon. So, and then we have great women politicians here, like Mrs. Indira Gandhi, Mrs. Jayalalitha, and great people like Lata Mangeshkar, who have all gone back. But see, it doesn't just mean that when we lose such women, when they pass away, we just remember them, do their death anniversaries and things like that. No, there's lots to learn about them. There are lots to learn about why these, about their lives, how they have come up in spite of many controversies, in spite of many hardships, in spite of many bad things happening to them from the family itself. So a family support is very much needed for the woman to go forward, but if it is not there, and if the family itself is opposing a woman, it becomes very difficult for that woman to go forward. And there are many families who do that, who suppress the women, who take advantage of them being single, attack them, physically, and just for many things. So these things should be stopped. These things should be addressed, and these things should be covered. So on this day, let's not wait for somebody else to do it, but let's have this zeal and interest to help ourselves and help others who are downtrodden, who are weak, who are not able to do as much as we can. And I urge for the women in empowerment, the women in positions, to really work hard, really support these people, and not just take up the chairs and say that we've become great. It's good if you're great, but at the same time, please do your duty towards the people who need your support, towards the women who need your support. So just don't say, oh, I bought votes, I spent out so much money, and because of the chair, so I'm not going to help, less fortunate and all that. No. See, women in position need to understand, in politics, needs to understand that they are given that vote because of some expectation. And when you do that for women, you also have blessings from God. So on this Women's Day, I really urge everyone to, be the pioneers, be the motivated people to help themselves. And God gave women brains too, and she's a wonderful thing, they call her Janani in Hindi, and they call her Mother Earth in English in India. These terms are used. These terms are used because to give respect, not to connect to any religion, I think. But at the same time, women in the Bible were strong. Women in the Bible were women of faith. Women in the Bible did miracles. Women in the Bible exploded the vision of God, beside standing by her husband or by herself. So it's important to respect women and love them and give them all the support they need. And as a woman, my single women also should be totally cared for, because they don't have anyone. Sometimes they're even attacked by their own families. And care and support and organizations should come up to help those people. help those women. And so it's important. It's just not the duty of a husband or a brother or a father to help, but it's also the duty of one another, women with women, to help each other and form a good support system, basic structure to help one another. So this is why I wanted to do it. And women are a gift from God. Women were chosen by God, and that's why God created a woman, in par with man, to be a helpmate for the man, to be a support system for man. At the same time, to be all that loving thing for the man, to be all that she can give with her sacrifice, with her beauty, with her strength, with her models, with her character. So it's man is half created by God, and woman is the other half that is created. And that's why Adam says, because she was taken out of his rib, she's bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh, and so she would be called a woman. So I'm just asking that, let's all be a support system to one another and build this beautiful structure and support system for one another, so that, see, world is not a perfect place. World is a very distorted place, controlled by Satan, but we have God. Because it's made by Jesus, God the Father, we have God with us. And when we have God with us, no one can do anything to us. When God is for me, who can be against me, the Bible says. So, and God, another important thing is that God called the church His bride. He didn't call a groom. He didn't call the church a groom or a bridegroom or nothing like that. He didn't call the church like that. He gave so much importance to the women that to the woman He called her His bride. So she's sanctified. She should be righteous. She should be clean. She should be pure, and present herself if she's ready for marriage, and present herself to the society, to her children, to the world at large. So keeping this in mind, that God called a woman His bride, He compared the woman to the He called the church a bride. So He has given that kind of position to a woman. And so with all the qualities that God has empowered on us, let's strive to be that woman that God called us to be, like all the other women in the Bible. Thank you. And again, have a happy Women's Day.